create an offering, first go to InfoHub main menu, Systems, Booking Center, Course and Event Setup. Click on the number under the heading Number of Offerings and to the right of the correct event code. Create new offering. And there are certain fields on this screen that do not need to be completed. There are other fields that are mandatory, and we'll discuss the relevant ones as we're going through. The course and event code has automatically appeared, and the title is something that we will type in. This is what people will book onto, so it's important that you make this as clear as possible. So you may wish to call it Autumn Trimester 2021 booking for training purposes. The offering status, there are 5, and I normally recommend that you use displayed on web and bookable. However, you can change this at a later stage if you so wish. The offering start date and end date are both mandatory. You can see that here. And be clear when you do this. If you're running an event for 5 days, the offering that people will book onto will start and end on the same day. It won't necessarily start on Monday and end on Friday, 5 days later. It will be a start and end date on the same day. So click and you get the drop-down calendar, and we'll set it for Saturday, the 30th of October. We can allow people to cancel in perhaps until that day or the previous day, depending on how you want to manage your bookings. And if you wish to add a survey, please contact EAG support and we can show you how to create a survey, or if you're selecting one that's already in place, just use the drop-down menu there. The booking start and end date is very handy because you've set your offering status to displayed on web and bookable. So therefore, using the booking start and end dates can now control when people book and do not book onto your offering. So we'll open it today. And what we can do is we can close it after the event is over so that people can continue to book and pay after the event has finished. We'll select the correct fee rate. And the capacity, as you can see, has an asterisk, so it's a mandatory field. In this case, we'll put it in for 100. And the other relevant point here is start time, and this also has an asterisk. You must add in what the start time is, and please use the 24-hour format. Please note that there's a colon between these digits, so I'll put in 11:00, and that now is starting at 11 a.m. You can add in details in the course schedule and duration field if you so wish. It's not mandatory. I tend to put this in because it's very helpful for people when they're booking onto your offering. There's duration, I'm putting it in as 1.5. Note there's only a decimal point here, not a colon. And it is a 90-minute event, so it's 1.5 hours. If you wish to list the people that are involved, you can use the check name function. This means that it's someone who is available in the UCD Identity Manager database. In other words, it's somebody who has a UCD or perhaps a UCD Connect email address. I normally use the email because it's more precise. Click check name. You can see it's loading some information here. And it shows me and it's a valid person. If you're using an external tutor, please feel free to add in the names in the external tutor field. If you're advertising it as being run in a particular UCD building, please use one of these fields. You may choose the Ardmore Annex or any other room that you so want. And if it's not a UCD building, feel free to add it in as the Yates Suite in the Radisson Blue Hotel, Stillorgan, or wherever it is that you're running your event. The idea being that you can either specify the room in a UCD building or you can specify the room somewhere that's off campus. If you want to make any notes for yourself or for anyone else who has access to the same activity area as you do, the admin notes function is very handy. You can simply add in relevant details. So it may be that car parking passes are required, and you can put in your own initials and the date of when you've done it, and then you can say passes sent. They were sent out on the 3rd of October, November, whenever it was. Okay, that's just a very handy feature for setting up an offering. Now that we've filled in all the relevant fields on this screen, we're going to click Save, refresh our screen, and there is our event offering. If we want to change this, we can either click on the icon to the left of the offering ID, or we can click Advanced Options. And now we can change this, perhaps the title, perhaps the date, the start time might change from 11, the capacity may change up to 110. It may be 11:30 that we're going to start at, and so on. And again, we have further fields here in our advanced options that you may wish to complete to leave notes for colleagues that are also working on the same event, or as reminders for your own self. The banner integration field isn't something that's relevant here unless you have specifically got a banner integration method scheduled for your activity area. If you want to look further into banner integration, please contact eag.support@ucd.ie and we can discuss the matter with you. Click Save when you've completed your changes, refresh this screen, and again you can see the changes we've made to the description and to the capacity. Click on Course and Event Setup. And now, as you can see, we have one event under the number of offerings field to the right of the event code for training purposes only.